Shalom, Bruchim Habaim. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to look at the Hebrew verb for to fall. A lot of students are not really good friends with this verb, and I understand that because it happened to me too. If you don't know me, my name is Ruth Avni. They also call me the Verb Queen, and I walked in your shoes. I have been to Ulpan, I had the same confusions, and I hacked the code. And since then, my mission is to show others that Hebrew verbs are possible. So today I'm going to show you that you just have to look at that verb in another way. Okay, let's start. So most of my students, or let's say many, actually learned to say I fell. That is right. Nafalti. But this is an isolated thing for them. They don't know the infinitive. They might hear it and then they forget about it again, and they are super afraid of conjugating that verb. Let's cut the drama. We start here. Nafalti. So what's going on? Here we look at a verb that is consisting of three letters called the root, like always, and a, that is pa'al, nafalti. Okay, great, nafalti. So if you want to know what is the infinitive for people who speak a European language, for example, English, that is where you want to start, right? So this is also where the confusion starts. We are taking a step back. Look here again, nafalti. Now you tell me how to form a regular pa'al infinitive. If you don't know the regulars, it will be very hard to get over little barriers when there is some irregularity on the way. Okay, regular infinitive. We always start with the root. And if we want to end up in pa'al, we place a lamed in front, a vav between the second and the third letter. If this is completely new to you, I highly recommend you to get my book. That is a great introduction. It actually does have all the verb rules for every binyan. However, if you think you are more or less okay, but you still have to look it up, you can never do it on your own, and you don't really get the context, then you might sign up for the course. But as an introduction, I think the book is just good enough. Everything you find in the description below. Okay, so we are here. This is the code for a regular pa'al infinitive. Now, taking that into account, coming back to our question, from nafalti, what could be the infinitive? Well, maybe linpol. Actually, you made a good analysis, yes, because, hey, root plus lamed in front, vav between the second and the third letter. This is what I just taught you, right? However, in this case, I'm sorry, this is biblical Hebrew. And no, you cannot get away with that. Some people think it doesn't really matter. Well, I'm sorry. Do you want to learn modern Hebrew or not? And then you also have to make some shifts, okay? No, you cannot get away with it. Okay, so modern Hebrew is actually lipol. So the nun got replaced with a yud. There is also a outdated spelling like lipol, but the full Kativ Malay spelling in Israel today is lipol with the yud written. Okay, so coming back, conjugating through the tenses. Now that we have a very strange infinitive, we go through infinitive, present tense, past tense, future tense, and imperative. Let's have a look what is now happening. So we just saw lipol, a bomb. That was already something that nearly took us off the path, but only nearly. Because The yud is a replacement for the nun. Keep that in mind, and suddenly the whole thing is not that scary any longer. Yes, the root was nun, pei lamed, but if you now think you could have done it if there was a nun, well, then just use a yud, so to speak. But not always. Okay, so this is the idea. The nun got replaced by a yud. Okay, present tense. Who no fell. Like in 𝐟𝐸𝐶𝐞𝐞𝐥𝐬, 𝐢𝐫𝐫𝐞𝐿, just from another verb. So you get the pattern. We stay in the same vowel pattern. No fell. This is very much pa'al. And then past tense, we are in pa'al, a, na fal, hu na fal. So this here is the pattern that is based on the root. And the root does have a nun. So these two are actually normal pa'al conjugation patterns. Zero difference. Future tense, yes, another bump. What do we see here? The future prefix. For example, if the verb was 𝐟𝐸𝐶𝐞𝐞𝐥𝐬, to close, then it would be 𝐢𝐫𝐫𝐞𝐞. So you need a yud for who, right? We got it here. And then again, the nun was replaced with a yud. And this is why we end up here in ייפול. Okay? And the imperative we only do for the sake of completeness, because actually, especially this verb is nearly only used through, or let's say the imperative only uses the future tense. There are verbs that still use their own imperative, even though a general shift is being observed in modern Hebrew over the time that we are using more the future tense for expressing the imperative. Not exactly always, but here definitely. However, I just want you to see it once. So imperative, you can use the future tense, but the real imperative coming from ייפול is pol. There is not even a nun replacement. Okay, so we will now clean it up. So you can forget about it. I give you permission. So these are here the conjugation patterns, and present tense and past tense is based on the root as if it was any other verb. You see? So really, if you want to master this verb, the only thing you really have to learn by heart is the fact that it is ייפול and not לנפול. This is the only thing. And then, if you want to get into it, you could, in theory, say, okay, I'm going to conjugate it once in future tense with the nun, just because I actually know how to conjugate the future tense in pa'al. And then you will do it again without the nun and place a yud, just for your brain process. It's not exactly what I recommend, but for some students who have a very analytical and mathematical mind, that could be a way of doing it. So the summary of this and also this overview in a couple of hours will appear on my blog. Just give me some time to update it. When I make a video, I always want to shoot it out right away. This is because of my mission to give information to everybody, to make everybody's life easier when it comes to studying Hebrew verbs. But okay, it's not possible to do all at once. So in a couple of hours, you can see this also on the blog and get this overview. And I really hope this was helpful. If there is something you still need to know or you want to comment on, I'm very happy to read your comments. And yeah, also let me know if there's another really strange verb that you want me to explain. Okay, cuties. There she got. Shut up.